So hi everyone, good evening, and this is Gayatri here, and I welcome you all to today's session. So I see a lot of you have joined. So let's start today's session, guys. As you all know, today we are going to be discussing the topic number systems from quantitative ability. So as I said, it's a very basic topic and you need to know this topic very well. So in today's session, see, coming to number system, it's a very vast topic. You have so many types of questions that comes under this section, but in today's session I will be focusing only on the questions that are being asked in the latest pattern in the exams. So this is more going to be an exam oriented session. So for the first 5-10 minutes, what we will do is we will skim through what are the basic definitions that you should know before you start solving questions from this topic. So these definitions most of us know, we would have learnt it at school, or most of you would have gone through the video lessons, but we will still recollect it once. And why these definitions are important is when you actually solve questions from other topics, these terms might appear here and there. At that point, these definitions become very useful for you to know. Okay, so let me share my screen. See, the first and foremost thing that you should know in numbers is the place value representation of numbers. Okay, so place value representation of numbers means what is that? See, if you have a number, let us say 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now what is place value? See, each digit in a number has a place value according to its position. We say that this digit 3 is in the units place, correct? Digit 2 is said to be in the tens place. This digit 1 is said to be in the hundreds place. And this digit 4 is said to be in the thousands place, and so on. Okay, so this is called as place value of each digits in a number. Now, how do I represent this number in the expanded form? See, all this is what you have learned. I am just recollecting that for you. So how will we represent this in the expanded form? It is nothing but 4 into 1000, correct? Because place value of 4 is 1000, correct? So 4 into 1000 plus 1 into 100 plus 2 into 10 plus 3. Now, where does this concept come when you come to solving questions? When it comes to solving questions that is asked in the exams is, sometimes you have numbers, let us say you have a number AB, okay? Now how do I represent this number in the expanded form? It is nothing but 10A plus B. So sometimes in the questions what they will say is, you are interchanging the digits of the number. So what will the number now be? It will become BA. Or how do I expand this number? This number actually now becomes 10B plus A. So to write these equations, you should know what is place value. So that's why we just explained what place value is. I hope it's clear. 4000 plus 10 plus 20 plus 3. So each digit in a number has a place value. Always keep this in mind, and this will be useful while solving such questions. Now the next definition that we need to know is what are factors and what are multiples. So again, a very easy thing, right? What are factors? See, if you have a number A, okay, and you are dividing this number by B, and if B is able to divide this number exactly in such a way that the remainder of this division is 0, then B is called as the factor of A, okay, or A is called as the multiple of B. That is the easiest definition of factors and multiples. Now, instead of remembering it like A, B, etc., always such things remember with the help of an example. Now you have two numbers, okay, 12 and 6. So I am doing 12 divided by 6. So what can I say? I can say that 6 is a factor of 12, because when I divide 12 by 6, I get 2, correct? No remainder. So 6 is a factor of 12, or I can say that 12 is a multiple of 6. Okay, so this is the difference between a factor and a multiple. See, Gurpreet is saying 2 is a factor of 8 and 8 is a multiple of 2. Correct. So any number, you can split it in terms of its factors and write. So if you are taking the number 12, you can write 12 as, how can you write? 12 can be 6 into 2, correct? Or it is 4 into 3. So the 6, 2, 4, 3, etc. are all factors of 12. Remainder is 0. Yes. So this is the basis for LCM and HCF, right? Least common multiple and highest common factor. So if this is clear for us, LCM HCF, it becomes easy to solve. So these are some very basic things that you should know, and I am sure all of you know it. Okay. Now let us look at the numbers. Now these are the general definitions of numbers that you should know. Okay, now see, coming to our aptitude exam, see, generally when you take numbers as a whole, numbers are generally divided into two types. What are they? Can anybody tell me? See, the major classification of numbers are actually classified as, yeah, somebody says real number, correct. Real number and, correct Apurva, real number and imaginary number. Okay, numbers which have an imaginary part or the numbers of the form a plus ib are called as imaginary numbers. The other numbers are real numbers, that is numbers which do not have an imaginary part. And in the aptitude exams, we will have to focus only on real numbers. Imaginary number we needn't take into consideration. Now, coming to real numbers can be classified into different types. So that is what I have written, some of the important definitions that we need to know when it comes to real numbers. So that is what you just saw in the slide. So first, coming to rational numbers. What are rational numbers? See, rational numbers are numbers which you can represent it in the form p by q, where q is not equal to 0. Such numbers are called as rational numbers. Okay, so for example 2 by 1 or 1 by 3, all these are rational numbers. Now, what are irrational numbers? Numbers which you cannot represent in this form p by q, where q is not equal to 0, are called as irrational numbers. What are examples of irrational numbers? Root 2, root 3, pi, all these are irrational numbers. Correct? Now, what are natural numbers? Now, you guys tell me, what are natural numbers? Yeah, a by b not equal to 0, that is a rational number. Now, what are natural numbers? 1 and so on, correct. All the numbers, all the counting numbers are called as natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, etc. up to infinity. This forms the set of natural numbers. Now, if you add 0 to the set of natural numbers, you get whole numbers, correct. So, this is the set of whole numbers. Now, what are integers? All the whole numbers plus all the negative numbers, correct. Like from minus infinity till minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2 up till plus infinity. All these numbers are integers. Now, what are even numbers? Numbers that like generally multiples of 2. 2 or multiples of 2 are even numbers. Correct. Now, what are odd numbers? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc. are odd numbers. Even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. Now, what are prime numbers? Prime numbers, very important thing that we should know. Prime numbers are numbers which have only two factors, that is 1 and the number itself. Okay, such numbers are called as prime numbers. Prime numbers have only two factors, 1 and the same number itself. Now, for the least prime number is 2. Then you have 3, 5, correct, then 7, 11 and so on. So, if you take any of these numbers, they have only two factors, 1 and the same number itself. And is 1 a prime number? Anyone tell me? 1 is neither prime nor composite. Okay, number 1 is neither prime nor composite. Now, coming to composite numbers, all other numbers other than prime numbers like 4, okay, which has basically more than two factors, that is factors more than 1 and itself, are called as composite numbers. Okay, 4, 6, 8, etc. are composite numbers. Now, next is coprimes. Now, what are coprimes? Coprimes are numbers which, see, there are, when you are considering coprimes, you take two numbers at a time, okay, and when you compare these two numbers, what we see is that these two numbers have only one common factor, and that is 1. Such a number is called as a coprime, or you can say that the HCF of the two numbers is 1, and so such numbers are called as coprime. For example, if you take 22 and 9, okay, now if you take 22, what are the factors of 22? You have 11 and 2 and 1. Correct. If you take 9, the factors are going to be 1, 3 and 9. If you compare these two numbers, see, is 22 a prime number on its own? No, 22 is not a prime number, it's a composite number. Similarly, 9 is also not a prime number, it's a composite number. But when you compare these two numbers, they have only one common factor, that is 1. So, they are called as coprimes. When they are taken alone, might be they are not prime numbers, but when you consider the two numbers together, it's called as a coprime. Or if you take the HCF of these two numbers, you get the HCF as 1. Then also you call it as a coprime. So, these are some of the very, very basic definitions that you should know from number system. So, as I said, why are these definitions important? See, in topics like probability, right, they will say that you are taking a prime number. from the first 20 numbers, okay. Now tell what is the probability that the number you pick up from the numbers 1 to 20 is a prime number. So to do that, you should know what a prime number is, right? So in other topics also, you apply this concept of number system. So that's why we just went through all of these explanations, even though you guys know it, okay. So let's move on. Now the next most important thing that all of you should know is the divisibility rules. Okay, now coming to divisibility rules, you should know the divisibility rules of numbers till 20. Okay, now when again in bank exams directly they do not ask you, nowadays they don't ask you is this number divisible by 5 or is this number divisible by 7, but knowing these rules will again help you to improve your calculations. If you remember in the simplifications or approximations class that we had, there was a question wherein we could arrive at the answer by looking at whether the number is divisible by another number or not. Divisibility rule for 2 is if the last digit is an even number, then the number is divisible by 2. Now coming to divisibility rule for 3, if the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. So if you have a number 125, 1 plus 2 plus 5 is 8, correct? So 8 is not divisible by 3, so the number is not divisible by 3. Now what is the divisibility rule of 4? What is the divisibility rule of 4? If the last 2 digits of the given number is divisible by 4, then the whole number is divisible by 4. Okay, for example, if you have a number 1364, what are the last 2 digits of the number? It is 64. 64 is divisible by 4, correct? 16 into 4 is 64. So this number 1364 is divisible by 4. Okay, now next divisibility of 5. Divisibility rule of 5 is that if the last digit is either 0 or 5 in a given number, then the number is divisible by 5. Correct. Now what is the divisibility rule for 6? Yes, all of you are giving me the answers fast before even I say. Now the divisibility rule for 6 is that if the given number is divisible by 3 and 2, then the given number is divisible by 6. Correct. Okay. Now what is the divisibility rule for 7? How do you find if a given number is divisible by 7? We will do one question on 7. As 7 is, it's easy only if you remember it. So let us take one number, okay, let us take a number 235 now, okay. To check if a number is divisible by 7, consider the last digit, okay, and multiply it by 2. 5 2s are 10. Now consider the remaining digits in the number, leave out this last digit now. So you are left with 23, correct, and subtract this answer that you get from 23. So 23 minus 10 is what? 13. Is 13 divisible by 7? No. So this number is not divisible by 7. Or see, you have to basically keep continuing this step. For example, if a number is 11347, okay, now the last digit is 7. So what is 7 2s are 14. Take the last digit, multiply it by 2, take the remaining digits 1134 minus, subtract it from this. 1134 minus 14 is going to be 1120. You have to keep continuing this step till you get a number which is easy for us to say whether it is divisible by 7 or not. At that point only you should stop. So if it is 1120, last digit is 0, correct? So 0 into 2 is going to be 0. So you are left with 112, correct? 112 minus 0, that is equal to 112. Now again last digit is 2, 2 into 2 is 4. Now 11 minus 4, take the remaining digits, 11 minus 4 is 7. Here we know 7 is definitely divisible by 7, and so this number is divisible by 7. So this is the only way in which you can check it is divisible by 7. Even if the number is big, instead of dividing, this would still be faster. So I hope it's clear. This is how we find if a number is divisible by 7 or not. Now let's move on to the next one. So when it comes to the number 8, the next number that we are going to discuss is 8. When it comes to 8, to check if a number is divisible by 8, you have to check if the last 3 digits of the number is divisible by 8. So if the number is 2512, what are the last 3 digits? 512. So 512 divided by 8 will give you what? 64. So 512 is divisible by 8. So the number 2512 is also divisible by 8. What is the divisibility rule of 9? So see, if you have a number, if the sum of the digits of the number is divisible by 9, then the given number is also divisible by 9. Okay, so sum of the digits is a multiple of 9, correct? So for example, if the number is 729, 7 plus 2 is 9, 9 plus 9 is 18, correct? So 18 is divisible by 9, so the given number is also divisible by 9. Now next is the divisibility rule of 10. What is the divisibility rule of 10? If the last digit is 0, the number is divisible by 10. Very easy. Okay, when it comes to divisibility rule of 11, what you have to do is, let us assume that you have a number 14641. Okay, what you do is add up the alternating digits and find the sum of the alternating digits. So the first set is 1 plus 6 plus 1, that is 8, correct? 4 plus 4 is 8. Then find the difference between the sum of the alternating digits, and the answer that you get should be either 0 or 11 or a multiple of 11. In that case, the number is divisible by 11. That is the divisibility rule for 11. Okay. Now next one, what is the divisibility rule for 12? Divisibility rule for 12 is, if the number is divisible by 4 and by 3, then the number is divisible by 12. Okay. For 12, the number has to be divisible by 3 and 4. Now 13, what is the divisibility rule for 13? Give me the answer. It is similar to 7. What is the divisibility rule for 13? Let us take a number example. By the time you guys give me, I'll just write down an example and start doing it. Yeah, if you have a number, let us say take 50661. Okay. Now how do I check if this number is divisible by 13 or not? No, for 13, what you do is, take the last digit, multiply it by 4. Okay. So what is the last digit here? It is 1. 1 into 4. That is 4. Now this answer, you add it to the remaining digits and keep doing that like how you do for 7. So the operation that you have to do is multiply the last digit by 4, then add it to the remaining digits. So here 5066 plus 4 will give us 5070, correct? Now the last digit is 0. 0 into 4 is equal to 0. So 507 plus 0 is equal to 507. Last digit is 7. So 7 4s are 28. Now 50 plus 28, correct? 50 plus 28 is going to be 78. This is divisible by 13. So 13 5s are 65, 13 6 are 78. So the number is divisible by 13. Is it clear? Multiply the last digit by 4 and then add the answer to the remaining digits. Keep continuing till you are able to reach a number which you can say whether it is divisible by 13 or not. Yeah. So let's move on to the next one. Now to check if a number is divisible by 14, what do? We check if it is divisible by 7 and 2. Correct? Similarly, to check if a number is divisible by 15, what do? We check if it is divisible by 5 and 3. Okay. Now the next one that we will have, most important one will be the divisibility rule for 17. How will you do? Next is 17. How will you check if a number is divisible by 17? See, again 17 is also very similar only. Now for example, if you have a number 3978, okay. Now to check if this number is divisible by 17, what you do is take the last digit, okay, multiply it by 5. What do I get? 8 5s are 40. Now subtract this from the remaining digits. So 397 minus 40 will give me what? It will give me 357. Now again 7 5s are 35, correct? So 35 minus 35, that is equal to 0. So if I get 0 or a 17 or a multiple of 17, then I can say that this number is divisible by 17. So this is divisible by 17. Now let's move on to the next one. Again 18 means you can again check 9 and 2. If it is divisible by 9 and 2, then the number is divisible by 18. Now the next one is 19. So how do you check if a number is divisible by 19? So any of you, if you can give me the answer, how to check whether a number is divisible by 19 or not, please give me. Generally all the other ones we would all know very easily, right? Only this 7, 13, 19, 17. These are the ones that a lot of us tend to forget. So let's try for one number, okay, to find divisibility by 19. See for example, if it is 101156, okay, I have a number. So what you have to do is take the last digit, multiply it by 2. 6 2s are 12, correct? Now add this to the remaining digits. So 10115 plus 12. So what is that? That is equal to 10127. Now again take the last digit, multiply it by 2, that is 7 2s are 14. So 1012 plus 14, that will give us 1026, correct? Yeah. Now again multiply this by 2. Again what is 6 2s are 12. So 102 plus 12, that is equal to 114. So this 114 is divisible by 19. So the given number is also divisible by 19. So this is the divisibility rule for 19. I hope it's clear. Okay. So with this, we come to an end of the basics that you need to know for this session from number systems. Now we'll go about solving the questions from this topic. I hope the divisibility rules was clear to all of you. For those of you who already knew this, please consider this as a revision for you, so that you needn't refer back to the videos or anything again. You have already learnt it, you have revised it also now. Now let us move on to the questions for today's session. So this is the first question. So how do you solve this question? If the places of last 2 digits of a 3-digit number are interchanged, a new number greater than the original number by 54 is obtained. What is the difference between the last 2 digits of that number? So let us see, let us check if it is correct. So see what is asked in the question here. As I said, the place value that we learned just now is very useful. So there is a 3-digit number. So since we don't know what the number is, how do we take it? We take it as ABC. If the places of the last 2 digits of a 3-digit number are interchanged. So now what is the number? The number has become ACB. Now how do I expand this number and write it in terms of its using its place value? See, this is nothing but 100A plus 10B plus C, correct? So that is the exact value of this number. Now the number is becoming ACB. So now what is the number? It is actually 100A plus 10C plus B, because the position of the last 2 digits has been interchanged. Now what have they given? When this happens, a new number greater than the original number by 54 is obtained. So this number is greater than this number by 54 means I can say, if I subtract ACB from ABC, my answer is equal to 54. That is what it means, right? The second number is greater than the first number by 54. Or when I look at the value of the number, I can say that 100A plus 10C plus B minus 100A plus 10B plus C. This is equal to 54, correct? Or now you take this minus outside, what will happen? It will be 100A plus 10C plus B minus 100A minus 10B minus C. See, in the exam you needn't write it so elaborately like this. Directly you can start simplifying it here itself. Since I am explaining it to you, I have written it in so many steps. So 100 and 100 gets cancelled. So you are left with what? You are left with 10C minus C. What is 10C minus C? That is 9C. B minus 10B, that is 9B. So 9C minus 9B is equal to 54, or I can say C minus B is equal to 54 divided by 9, that is equal to 6. So the question is, what is the difference between the last 2 digits of the number, and the answer is going to be 3, that is 6. Let's move to the next question. So how do you solve this question? The difference between 2 positive numbers is 3. If the sum of their squares is 369, then the sum of the number is dash. We sum of the numbers. So what is the answer for this question? How do you solve this question? See what is given in the question. Any of you, what is the answer for this question you got? See, we should not be taking so long to answer, because these questions you should be able to do it in 30 seconds time. Less than 30 seconds. Any of you got the answer for this question? 27, yeah. Okay, so let me solve it for you. See, there are 2 positive numbers whose difference is 3. So if one number is x, what is the other number going to be? It's going to be x plus 3, correct? Because their difference is given as 3. Difference is 3 means if I subtract both these numbers, I am getting 3. Okay, so I am considering the numbers as x and x plus 3. Now it is given that if the sum of their squares is 369. So what does the sum of their squares mean? So x squared plus x plus 3 whole square. I am squaring both the numbers and their sum is going to be 369. Or what can I say? I can say x squared plus x squared, x plus 3 the whole square is what? X squared plus 6x plus 9. That is equal to 369. Or what, we can further write this as 2x squared plus 6x. Okay, you take this to that side, that is equal to 360. Or I can say, now there is a 2 common everywhere. So I am just writing it as x squared plus 3x minus 360 will become what? 180, correct? Divided by 2, that is equal to 0. So now you have to solve this and find the value of x. So to solve this, this is again a quadratic equation here. Either you can use the formula minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. But again that would be a bit time consuming. If you are able to split the factors and then write, that will be more easy. See, what we can see is that how do you get the product 180? And see, there are 2 numbers, okay? When you do the product, that should be 180, and when you add them, Okay, the answer should be 3. So what can be the two numbers? The two numbers can be, see if it is, let us assume it is x plus 15 into x minus 12, right? In this case, if it is 15 and minus 12, product of these two is 180 and sum of these two is 3. So I can actually write this equation like this, correct? I have just factored it and written. So if you write like this, what can I say? I can say x is equal to 12 or x is equal to minus 15. But we will consider only the positive number here. So I am going to take 12 as the answer. So if x is 12, then what is x plus 3? X plus 3 is going to be 15. So what is the sum of both the numbers? That is 12 plus 15, or that is equal to 27. So the required answer for this question is option B, 27. So I hope the explanation was clear. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. The sum of the two digits of a two-digit number is 15 and the difference between the two digits of the two-digit number is 3. What is the product of the two digits of the two-digit number? So how do you solve this? See the sum of, okay, let us take the number is AB. Okay, the sum of the two digits of a two-digit number is 15. So what is given? A plus B, correct? Sum of the digits is 15 and the difference between the two digits is A minus B is given as 3. Now you have to find A and B. From this just find out what is A and B, very easy, no? 2A. You add these two, what do you get? 2A is equal to 18, or you can say A is equal to 9 and you get B. 9 plus B is equal to 15 or B is equal to 6. So A is 9 and B is 6, so their product is 9 into 6 or equal to 54. Yeah, all of you got the answer correctly. Let's move on to the next question. Very easy one this was. This is the next question. The denominators of two fractions are 5 and 7 respectively. The sum of these fractions is 41 by 35. On interchanging the numerators, their sum becomes 43 by 35. The fractions are what? So try to solve this question that is appearing on your screen. So how do you solve this question? So what is given in the question? Any answers? Anybody got the answer for this? Okay, let's start solving this question. So see, there are two fractions, okay? One fraction has a denominator 5 and another fraction has a denominator 7. So I am just going to take the numerator as x and y here. Now the sum of these fractions is given as 41 by 35. Now interchanging the numerators, that is the numerator of this fraction is now becoming y and the numerator of this fraction is becoming x, that is equal to, the sum is becoming 43 by 35. Now if I take these numerators, okay, if I try to remove this numerator and rationalize these, what do I get? I get 7x plus 5y divided by 35 is equal to 41 by 35, or I just cancel this denominator, so I get 7x plus 5y is equal to 41. Similarly, if I do for this, what do I get? I get 7y plus 5x is equal to 43, and I just need to solve these two to find the value of x and y, and we directly get the answer. So this is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it would be try to check with the options and see which option suits our requirement. Okay, if you are doing it this way, then 7x plus 5y is equal, see, you have to cancel out any one term. So multiply one equation by this, see if you are going to cancel out x, okay, multiply this by 5 and multiply this by 7. So if you do that way, what do you get? You get 35x plus 25y is equal to 41 into 5, that is 205, correct? Now this is 49y plus 7 5s are 35x, that is equal to 43 into 7, that is 301. Then you have to subtract these two. 49 minus 25 is 24. 24y is equal to 96. From this you get y is equal to 4, and then if you substitute y is equal to 4 in this equation, you get x is equal to 3. This is a bit time consuming process, so it would be better if you go with the options. So try to put in the values. Assume that if the fractions are 3 by 5 and 4 by 7. Okay. Now when you add this, if you get the sum as 41 by 35, then try to interchange it, make it 4 by 5 and 3 by 7. See, most of the options you will be able to eliminate when you try to do that. That way you will get the answer faster, and that would actually be a smarter way to solve the question. Okay. So answer for this question is option 2. So let's move on to the next question. Now this consecutive numbers, right? Questions on consecutive numbers is another type of question that we commonly see nowadays in the exams. So let us take this question. The sum of a set of 5 consecutive even numbers is 140. What is the sum of the next set of 5 consecutive even numbers? So a lot of you have giving me the answer for the next question as 190. So let's see how to solve this question. See, there are 5 consecutive even numbers. So even numbers means, let us assume that our first number is x. So if our first number is x, what will be your next even number? See, if the first number is 2, then the next one is 4. If this is x, this is what? This is 2 plus 2, correct? Or x plus 2. So if one number is x, what is going to be the next even number? It is going to be x plus 2. So if this is x, x plus 2 plus x plus 4 plus x plus 6 plus x plus 8, correct? 5 consecutive even numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is equal to 140. Now what are they asking? What is the sum of the next set of 5 consecutive even numbers? So what are going to be the next set of 5 consecutive even numbers? It's going to be x plus 10 plus x plus 12 plus x plus 14 plus x plus 16 plus x plus 18. Okay, you have to find the answer for this. Now, there are 2 ways in which you can approach this question. We will discuss both the ways, and you guys decide which is easier for you, okay, to solve. Now, see, x plus 10, this is x plus 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Now, I am just going to write it as, see, this is x, correct? Now, here there is a plus 10. I am just writing the plus 10 separately. X plus 2, again there is x plus 12 is nothing but x plus 2 plus 10, correct? Similarly, x plus 14 is x plus 4 plus 10. Now x plus 16 is going to be x plus 6 plus 10, or x plus 18 is going to be x plus 8 plus 10. Now why am I splitting it and writing it like this? Because we already know the value of this, correct? We know this is equal to 140. So 140 plus, how many 10s are we adding? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 140 plus 50, that is equal to 190. So this is one way of doing the question, okay? See, we have to find the sum of x plus 10 plus x plus 12 plus till x plus 18. So I am just splitting this 10 as 10, I wrote it as such. 12 I have just split it as 2 plus 10, 4 plus 10, 6 plus 10 and 8 plus 10. And then when I add it, 140 plus 50 is equal to 190. Okay, that is one way of solving this question. The other way would be, see, if you have 5 consecutive even numbers, okay, what is the average of these numbers? This is going to be the average, correct? X plus 4. So what is actually 140? See, when we find average of numbers, the average of the number into the number of numbers will give you 140. So x plus 4, correct, into 5. This is the alternate way that I am doing now. So x plus 4 into 5 is equal to 140, okay? Or from this you can find the value of x as, see, 5x plus 20 is equal to 140, or 5x is equal to 120, or x is equal to 24. Now, in the new case, what is the average? The new average is going to be x plus 14. So, what will be the sum of the new set of numbers? It is going to be x plus 14 into 5, correct? So, you know x is 24, directly you find, you get the answer as 190. So these are 2 ways in which you can solve the question. I hope it's clear. Whichever is easier for you, you can follow. I hope both the methods that I explained was clear for you. Let's move on to the next question now. So this is going to be our next question for today's session. The difference between the sum of 4 consecutive odd numbers and 3 consecutive even numbers together is 20. Also, the largest even number is 5 more than the largest odd number. What is the sum of the smallest odd number and the smallest even number? So how do you solve this question? What is the answer for the question that is there on your screen? Give me the answer. Anybody got the answer? See, again, to approach this question, there are 2 ways in which you can do it. I will tell you both the ways and you see whichever is easier for you. Okay, the difference between the sum of 4 consecutive odd numbers and 3 consecutive even numbers together is 20. So you have 4 odd numbers, consecutive odd numbers, and 3 consecutive even numbers. Now how do I take which is the odd and which is the even? Now it is also given in the question that also the largest even number is 5 more than the largest odd number. Okay, so see, one way in which you can do it is, let us assume that the first odd number is going to be x. Okay, I mean the largest odd number, if it is x, then what is the largest even number going to be? The largest even number is 5 more than the largest odd number. So if the largest odd number is x, then the largest even number is going to be x plus 5. So either you can try to solve it using one variable. So what will be the even number just before this? It is going to be x plus 3. So then the even number before that will be x plus 1. So if the largest odd number is x, I fix the largest odd number as x, then I can say that the largest even number in that group is going to be x plus 5. So the even numbers are x plus 1, x plus 3. Even numbers are going to be x plus 1, x plus 3, x plus 5, correct? Because I have fixed the largest odd number to be x. And now what will be my odd numbers? It's going to be x. There are 4 consecutive odd numbers, correct? So they are going to be x, x minus 2, x minus 4 and x minus 6. So one way of doing this is, here the difference between their sum, so O minus E, correct? The difference between the sum of these two is going to be 20. So using this, directly find the answer. That is, see, do x plus x minus 2 plus x minus 4 plus x minus 6, okay? This sum minus the even numbers, correct? X plus 1 plus x plus 3 plus x plus 5. This is equal to 20. So when you solve this, what do you get? You get x plus x minus, this is 4x minus 12, correct? So I'll just write it on top here. I get 4x minus 12 minus 3x, correct? 3x plus 9, 3x plus 9, that is equal to 20, and you get x is equal to x minus 21, correct? 4x minus 3x is x, so x minus 21 is equal to 20, or x is equal to, I get as 41. Now what is the sum of the smallest odd number and the smallest even number? So what is going to be your smallest odd number? It is x minus 6. So 41 minus 6 is your smallest odd number, and your smallest even number is x plus 1, correct? That is 41 plus 1, that is equal to 42. So that is nothing but 35 plus 42, or that is equal to 77. So that is one way of solving it. So the answer will be 77 for this question. Is it clear? This is one way of doing it. I'll also teach you an easier way. This is one way, okay, of approaching the question, but I find this a more lengthier way and a bit confusing, because see, we have, if we fix 1 as x, then we have to know that the highest number is going to be x plus y. The smaller numbers will be, like, you have to go back and all that. So I'll teach you another easy way in which you can do this. I hope what I did now was clear. Okay. Now the other easy way to do it would be like this. How do you do it? See, let me assume that there are even numbers and odd numbers. Okay, I am going to assume that the even numbers are x, x plus 2. I mean the odd numbers are x, x plus 2, x plus 4 and x plus 6. So I am going to assume that these are my odd numbers, okay, consecutive odd numbers, and my consecutive even numbers, I am going to assume it as y, y plus 2 and y plus 4, okay. So I am going to assume that these are the consecutive even numbers that is given in the question. Now what is given in the question? The difference between these two sum is 20, or what can we say? See, we can say that the difference between the the largest even number is 5 more than the largest odd number, or what does that mean? Largest even number is y plus 4, correct? So y plus 4 minus x plus 6, that is equal to 5. So this is one equation that we have. Now the next set of equation that you can get from the given information is, when you subtract this from this, you get the answer as 20. So when you add all this, what do you get? X plus 2 plus x plus 4 plus x plus 6. When we add it, what do we get? X plus x plus x plus x is 4x, correct? 4x plus 12. So 4x plus 12 minus y plus y plus y, that is 3y. 3y plus 6, that is equal to, if you subtract these two, you get the answer as 20. So now you have two equations in terms of x and y. Solve these two equations and you will get the answer of x and y. You will end up getting x as the same 35 and y as 42. So when you add 35 and 42, you again get 77. Okay, this is also another method in which you can do. Whichever you find easier, you can follow in the exam. Okay, I hope both the methods were clear to you. Let's move on to the next question. There are 4 consecutive positive odd numbers and 4 consecutive positive even numbers. The sum of the highest even number and the highest odd number is 33. What is the sum of all 4 consecutive odd and even numbers? So how will you do this? Now see here, since they have not given the odd numbers and the even numbers are consecutive and all, we'll have to take them separately only, okay. So let us assume that the odd numbers are x, x plus 2, x plus 4 and x plus 6, okay. I am assuming that these are the 4 consecutive odd numbers. So what are my consecutive even numbers? Y plus 2, y plus 2, y plus 4 and y plus 6. These are my consecutive even numbers. The sum of the highest even number and the highest odd number is 33. So what is the highest even number plus highest odd number? X plus 6 plus y plus 6, that is equal to 33, or I can say x plus y is equal to 33 minus 12. What is 33 minus 12? That is 21. So I have this information. Now we have to find what is the sum of all the consecutive even and odd numbers. So basically we have to add these two. So when I add, what do I get? See, I'm not going to write it, I'm just going to say and write the final answer here. So x plus x plus x plus x, 4 times I'm adding x, that is 4x, correct? So 4x plus 2 plus 4 plus 6. So 6 plus 6 is 12. So 4x plus 12 plus 4 times y, correct? 4 times I'm adding y, 4y plus 2 plus 4 plus 6, again 12. So that is equal to 4x plus 4y plus 24, okay, or this is equal to 4 into x plus y plus 24. So this is the sum of all the 8 numbers. Now we know what is x plus y. X plus y is 21. So this is equal to 21 into 4 plus 24, or that is equal to 21 into 4 is nothing but 84. 84 plus 24 is 108. So I think a lot of you have got the answer correctly. So answer for this question is 2. 108. Hope it's clear. So now let's move on to the next question. The difference of squares of 2 consecutive even integers is divisible by which of the following integers? See, this question again, you need to know the divisibility rules to be able to answer this question. How do you solve this question? Again in this question, okay, even without knowing the divisibility rule you can solve. You just need to rearrange the given information correctly. How do you solve this question? What is the answer for this question? Anybody gets the answer? 4. Okay, a lot of you are getting the answer as 4. So let's check. See, difference between the squares of 2 consecutive even numbers. So one thing you can do is, you can assume the numbers as 2x and other number as 2x plus 2. Since they have said even numbers, we can take it as 2x plus 2, or you can also take it as x and x plus 2. Nothing wrong. In both the cases, you are going to end up getting the same answer only. Okay. So if the two numbers are 2x and 2x plus 2, then what do you get? You get 2x the whole squared, correct? The different squares of this is 2x the whole squared, that is equal to 4x squared. Now this is 2x plus 2 the whole squared, that is going to be 4x squared plus 4 plus 8x, correct? Now if I subtract these two, what do I get? I get 8x plus 4, or that is equal to 4 into 2x plus 1. So this is my, when I subtract 2x plus 2 the whole squared from this, I get 4 into 2x plus 1. So 4 into something means that number is definitely going to be divisible by 4. So answer for this question is option 3, 4. See, you needn't take 2x plus 2, since they said even number, I just took it that way. You can also take it as x and x plus 2. Even in that case, you will end up getting 4 into some number. So if the number is a multiple of 4, then it is going to be divisible by 4. Shall we move on to the next question? So in a family, the father took 1/4 of the cake and he had 3 times as much as the other members had. The total number of family members is dash. So how do you solve this? So for this question, let us assume that the number of members, okay, let the number of members in the family be n, and cake, okay, cake you can either consider it as 1 cake, so you can just take it as 1, or you can take it as x. Okay, so number of members, if I take it as n, and cake, okay, total cake, you can either take it as 1 or you can take it as x, whichever way you prefer. Actually, you can directly take it as 1. So now, what are the remaining cakes? If father is taking how much of the cake? Father is eating x by 4th or 1/4 of the cake. Okay, now the remaining cake, Okay, who is eating? Remaining cake is eaten by the other members of the group. So remaining cake is 3x by 4 is remaining, correct? That is eaten by the remaining n minus 1 people. So if there are n people, father is taking x by 4th of the cake and the remaining 3x by 4th of the cake, the n minus 1 people are eating. So how much does each person eat? Each person eats 3x by 4 into n minus 1. Okay, so this is what every other member in the family eats. Now what have they given? They have given that what the father eats is equal to 3 times what everybody else gets. Okay, so x by 4 is equal to 3 times of what everybody else eats. See, this x is immaterial. You can directly take here as 1, this as 1 by 4 and this as 3 by 4. I have just put x so that it's not confusing for any of you. Okay, so what do we get? We get 3 into 3 by 4 into n minus 1 is equal to 1 by 4, or if we simplify this, what do we get? We get 4 into n minus 1. I am taking this up, that is equal to 3 3s are 9, 9 4s are 36, or n minus 1 is equal to 9 or n is equal to 10. I hope it's clear. See, I am assuming that the number of members are n and total cake, either you consider it as x is the total cake or you consider the total, it's a cake, right? So one cake is there and father is having 1/4 of the cake, remaining there are 3 by 4 people. So the cake is divided among by these 3 by 4 people. So how many people are there now? There are n minus 1 people. The total family has n persons. So n minus 1 people are dividing this cake equally, that is 3/4 of the cake equally. So each person gets 3 by 4 into n minus 1. So and it is also given that the father's share is 3 times the share of each person. So what is the share of each person? 3 by 4 into n minus 1. That into 3 is equal to the father's share, that is 1 by 4 or x by 4. Cancel out, you get n is equal to 10. Shall we move on to the next question? Yeah, good. So let's move on to the next question. So that is the next question. Which of the following numbers divides 3 to the power 25 plus 3 to the power 26 plus 3 to the power 27 plus 3 to the power 28 completely? So how do we solve this? Very interesting question this one is. How do we solve this question? Again, in this question we need to do a bit of rearrangement to arrive at the answer. So let me start solving it for you. So this is the given number. So what is the number that we can take common outside all of these numbers? 3 to the power 25, correct? So I am going to write this as 3 to the power 25 into 1 plus 3 squared plus 3 cube, correct? Or that is equal to 3 to the power 25 into 1 plus 3 is 4 plus 9 plus 27, correct? That is equal to 3 to the power 25 into 27 plus 9 is 36, 36 plus 4 is 40. So this is what I am getting, 3 to the power 25 into 40. Now which of these options? None of the options match, right? So I have to try to get it to some number so that any one of the options matches. So we have to basically rearrange this answer that we get. So how we can rearrange it is, see, 3 to the power 25 is nothing but 3 into 3 to the power 24. I can write it like this, right? So this is into 40. So I am basically rewriting this answer that I am getting like this. So what is this? This is nothing but 3 to the power 24 into 3 into 4 into 10. 40 is 4 into 10. Or this is equal to 3 to the power 24 into 4 into 30. Correct? So what is this whole thing divisible by? It is divisible by 30. So answer for this question is option 4. Okay. When I divide this by 30, this 30 will get cancelled and I get a correct answer, right? It is completely divisible. So it is completely divisible by 30. So we rearranged and got the answer. Now let's move on to the next question. What is the least number to be added to 1500 to make it a perfect square? Very easy question. See, to solve this question, you know what 40 squared is, okay? 40 squared is going to be 1600. Now you also know what is 35 squared. What is 35 squared? 1225, correct? Now this perfect square that we are looking at is coming in between 35 and 40. So what are the perfect squares that we have between 35 and 40? 36, 37, 38, 39, correct? These are the numbers which have squares between 1225 and 1600. Now here the question is, what should be added to 1500 to make it a perfect square? See, if you go by options, definitely it's not 20 because a square will not end with a 0. Similarly, a square, can it end with a 2? Again, not 2. If you go by options itself, directly you will be able to get the answer. But otherwise, how you do is, these are the numbers that have squares close by. So just try 39 squared. What is 39 squared? You get it as 1521. So the answer is 21. You can do it that way also. Otherwise, go with the options. Okay. But again, there is none of these options. So if you try, it's very easy for us to find the squared. I hope all of you know the shortcut that is there in the video. You can refer that. So we will definitely know that it is 39. Okay. So answer is 21. 1521 is the closest square to 1500, because if you actually find out the squares, 38 square is going to be 1444 and 39 squared is 1521. So to 1500, the least number that you have to add will be 21. Everybody got it correctly. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is as follows. Students of a class are preparing for a drill and are made to stand in a row. If 4 students are extra in a row, then there would be 2 rows less. But there would be 4 more rows if 4 students are less in a row. The number of students in the class is dash. So how do we solve this question? What is the answer for this question? See, to solve this question, consider that there are, okay, first, okay, in the beginning, there is a row, right? In each row, I am considering there are x students. Okay, I am considering there are x students in each row and there are y such rows. Now take this as the base and then solve. Then it will be easier for you to solve. So totally, see, in each row there are x students and totally there are y rows. So totally how many number of students are there? Total number of students is nothing but x into y. That is the total number of students. Okay. Now what is the information that is given? If 4 students are extra in a row, okay, so there are 2 cases that they have given. The first case is when there are 4 students extra in a row. So in a row there are x plus 4 students, correct? Now there would be 2 rows less. So how many rows are going to be there now? There are going to be only y minus 2 row. But the product of the rows and the number of students in each row, that always gives you the total number of students, correct? So this is going to be the constant and this is going to be xy. That is not going to change. This is the first case. When there are 4 more students in a row, the number of rows becomes less by 2. Now there is one more case that they have given, that is case 2, where there are 4 more rows when 4 students are less in a row. So what does that mean? If the number of students in a row is less by 4, we are having 4 more rows. Okay. Now this product is also equal to xy. Correct? There are 2 equations now again and 2 unknowns. So 2 equations and 2 unknowns. Just solve and find the value of x and y. Okay. Now if you expand this, I think this is very easy. You can do it on your own. Xy minus 2x plus 4y minus 8 is equal to xy, right? Xy gets cancelled. So you can say that minus 2x plus 4y is equal to 8. That would be your first equation. Same way when you expand this, what do you get? You again get xy minus, xy is equal to xy plus 4x minus 4y minus 16, or you can say 4x minus 4y is equal to 16, and when you solve this, you get x is equal to 12 and y is equal to 8. Okay, you can just check this out. So what will be the total number of students? It's going to be 12 into 8, that is 96. And we'll move on to the next question. The next question is as follows. On Republic Day, sweets to be equally distributed among 450 children. But on a particular day, 150 children remained absent. Thus, each child got 3 sweets extra. How many sweets did each child get? How do you solve this question? So there are 450 children on a particular day. See, this is a very easy question. Just one small equation you will need to frame. If we frame that, the question becomes very easy. You should not take more than 30 seconds to actually solve this question. The concept, if you have the concept clear in your mind, it's very easy to solve. Okay, somebody giving me the answer as 9. Okay, let's see. See, let me assume that I have x sweets. Okay, so in the first case, what I am doing, each student is getting x by 450 because there are 450 students and total x sweets I am dividing among them equally. So each child will get x by 450. Now 150 students are absent. So how many students are there? There are going to be 450 minus 150 or 300 students. Okay. So the x sweets are going to be divided equally among 300 students. Now what has happened? When we are doing this, each child is getting 3 sweets extra. So what does that mean? Now this x by 300 is number 3 more than what x by 450 was. That is, each child now gets 3 extra sweets, or I can say x by 300 minus x by 450, that is equal to 3. Correct? Now they are getting 3 extra chocolates. So find the value of x from this. You get x as, what do you get x as? X you get it as 9. A lot of you got the answer correctly. X is equal to 9. Very easy calculation. You can do it on your own. The answer would be 9 for this question. For this question, everybody is getting the answer as 9. Hope it's clear now. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. After distributing the sweets equally among 25 children, 8 sweets remain. Had the number of children been 28, 22 sweets would have left after equally distributing. What was the total number of sweets? So how do we solve this? Now for this particular question, don't try to sit and solve because it's going to be lengthy. Go with the options and give me the answer. That is the easiest way to solve this question. Don't even think of any other method. Go by the options. After distributing sweets equally among 25 children, 8 sweets remain. Had the number of children been 28, 22 sweets would have been left after equally distributing. What was the total number of sweets? See, best way, as I said, go with the options. So how do we solve this question? Okay, let us assume that totally, we'll go with options. Okay, let us assume that totally we have 328 chocolates with us. Now I have to divide this 328 chocolates among 25 children, and when I do that, I have 8 chocolates remaining. So 328 minus 8 is what? 320. So this 320 chocolates I should have divided equally among the 25 children. Then only I have remaining 8 chocolates. But can I divide 320 chocolates among 25 children correctly? Is 320 completely divisible by 25? No. So this option is gone. Similarly, take the option 348. Now 348 means if I am again dividing this among 25 children, I am getting 8 chocolates remaining. So 348 minus 8 is 340. So this 340 chocolates I should have divided equally among 25 children. Is this number possible? 340 by 25? Again, not possible. So if you take 358, okay, if I had 358 chocolates, 358 minus 8 is equal to 350. This 350 is exactly divisible by 25, correct? This 350 chocolates, I can exactly give it to 25 children. Similarly, take the next option 356. Again, that would also not come. So all these options are ruled out and the answer is going to be option 3. 358. So all of you seem to have got the answer correctly. Let's move on to the next question. So the next, okay, all of you got the answer correctly, excellent. Now the next concept that we are going to see in today's session is from HCF and LCM, okay. What is HCF? HCF is the highest common factor and LCM is the least common multiple. So if you go through our video lessons, you can see the various models that is available from this topic, right? What different types of questions that are there from this topic. But as I said again today, I am going to be looking only at the type of questions that is currently asked in exam. So mostly what we see nowadays is that in LCM HCF concept, you only get puzzle kind of questions, right? Which involves you to calculate either the LCM or the HCF. So for today's session, we will be only looking at problems which are recently being asked in exams from this topic, okay? So again, these are just a recollection of what we already know. Okay, now for example, first let us look at the LCM, okay, how to calculate LCM. Okay, to find the LCM, okay, there is a long division method that you generally use. Let's just recollect that. So if you are given more than 2 numbers, okay, yeah, some questions definitely you can do it mentally if the numbers are small. But if the numbers are big, sometimes this long division method comes in handy. Let me just explain the method to you with easy numbers so that you understand how to do it. So 2, 4, 6, if you have 3 numbers, okay, now to find the LCM, you divide it by any prime number, okay. Now the 2 will go in all this, right. So 2 will be 1, 2 and 3. Okay. Now actually you have to keep dividing. If the numbers are big, keep dividing by any prime number and see to it that the prime number will completely divide in at least any two given numbers, okay, in the set. So if that is the case, keep dividing till you are getting numbers which will not go by any prime number. So stop at that condition and just multiply all this. That will give you the LCM. This is how you calculate the LCM. So 2 into 2 into 3, that is 4 3s are 12. That will be your LCM for this set of numbers. Okay. Now same way, how do you find the HCF? HCF of two numbers means if it is 2, 4, 6, again I am going to divide it by 2. When I divide it, I get 1, 2, 3, correct? Now here, I just need to take the values that appear here. So if let's say the division keeps on going, some value comes here. Don't take the value that comes here for HCF, just multiply the values that come here. That will give you the HCF. Okay. Now 2, 4, 6 is very easy. You can do it in mind itself. But I am talking about bigger numbers. Use the long division method to find LCM and HCF of bigger numbers which are not very easily, like you cannot calculate in your mind. So what is HCF? HCF is the highest common factor. So actually the concept behind HCF is this: if you have a number 2 is like, okay, 4. What are the factors of 2 are 2 and 1. Factors of 4 are 1, 2 and 4. Factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3 and 6. Correct? Now, which is the common factor here and which is the highest common factor? It is 2. See, what are the factors? 1, 1, 1. That is a factor. 2 is also a factor. But which is the highest common factor? The highest common factor is 2. So, HCF of these numbers is 2. So, this is the conceptual way in which you calculate. Okay. Now, similarly, when you are doing LCM, what you do is you take the multiples of each numbers and find the least common multiple. So if you take the multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. Multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, etc. Multiples of 6 are 6, etc. Now if you see here, which is the common multiple here? First common multiple or the least common multiple here is 12. So 12 is called the LCM of the three numbers. Okay. So this is the concept behind LCM and HCF. Generally we don't write out the multiples like this or the factors like this to find the LCM or HCF. We generally do the long division method. Okay. Now other small formulas that you can remember from LCM and HCF is product of two numbers. Okay. If there are two numbers A and B and you know their LCM and HCF, then you can say that the product of the two numbers is equal to the product of the LCM into HCF of the two numbers. In some questions this formula come in handy. Now sometimes now we also have questions on fractions. Okay. Fractions means questions where let's say they are asking you to find LCM of 2 by 3 and 4 by 5. When such questions are asked, we can make use of these formula. Okay. If you are asked to find the HCF of given set of fractions, the HCF is equal to HCF of the numerators by LCM of the denominators, or if you are asked to find the LCM of given fractions, that is equal to LCM of the numerators by HCF of the denominators. So I have just written it down, but we will solve it in questions so that it is more clearer to you. Okay. So let's move on to the questions. 3 girls start jogging from the same point around a circular track and they complete one round in 24 seconds, 36 seconds and 48 seconds respectively. After how much time will they meet at one point? See, this question we would say it is from time and distance, right? But here it is based on, the concept that you are using is going to be LCM or HCF. So that's why I have chosen this question for today's session. Okay, so how do you solve this question? See here, what are we supposed to find? Each of them are taking different times to run. Okay, when will they meet? See, these type of questions, generally the other wordings for such questions will be like this. There are some bells that rings at intervals of 10 minutes, 12 minutes and 15 minutes. So when will all the 3 bells ring together? So for all this question, basically we have to find the least common multiple or the LCM. So here I have to find the LCM of 24, 36 and 48. Why is that? See, this bell is ringing at every 24 seconds. So this will ring at 24 seconds, then 48 seconds and so on. This bell will ring at every 36 seconds, correct? So this will ring at the 36th second, then 72nd second and so on. So there is some one point where all three will ring. That is what we have to find out, correct? So for that, let us find the LCM of these three numbers. So if you are using the long division method, how do you find the LCM? 24, 36, 48, correct? If I am using the long division method, I can divide it by any prime number. I am using 2, so I get 12, 18, 24. See, some numbers, okay, 24, 36, 48 are all numbers which commonly appear in lot of questions. So actually directly you can say that the answer would be 144. Okay, LCM of these three is 144. But if you don't know how to solve it, this is how you solve. So again I am going to divide this by 3. So that is 4, 6, 8. Then you again divide it by 2. You get 2, 3, 4. See, when you are calculating the HCF, okay, you have to stop at this step because 2, 3, 4, no number will go in all the three. So if you are actually calculating the HCF, we will have to stop at this step and just multiply 2 into 3 into 2. That would be your HCF. But since we are calculating the LCM, you can again divide it by 2 because these two numbers are divisible by 2, right? So this will be 1, 3, 2, and the LCM will be the product of all of these numbers. 2 3s are 6, 6 2s are 12, 12 2s are 24. Now 24 into 2 is 48, 48 into 3, correct? That is 144. So 144 seconds. So in the next 144 seconds they will meet. 144 is nothing but 2 minutes, correct? 1 minute is 60 seconds. So 144 seconds is 120 plus 24. Correct, that is 2 minutes plus 24 seconds. So answer is option 2. So let's move on to the next one. What is the LCM and HCF of the following fractions? So I just in the previous slide I just showed you the formula, right? So using these formula you can very easily solve the questions. Okay. So see, if you have to find the HCF of fractions, how do you find the HCF of fractions? It is nothing but HCF of the numerators divided by LCM of the denominator. See, for this question I have not put any options, so you guys have to give me the answer for this. Okay, oh I got an answer already, 30 and 3 by 55. Okay, let's see. So what are the HCF of the numerators? What are the numerators here? 6, 3 and 15. Okay, if you have 6, 3 and 15, what is their HCF? HCF is the highest common factor. If you see, all these three numbers are divisible by 3, correct? And if you take the factors also, the highest factor is going to be 3. If you look at the numbers itself, you can say that the HCF is going to be 3. Now, what is the LCM of 5, 5, 11? Denominators are 5, 5 and 11, correct? 5, 5, 11. So, denominator of 5 and 11, again, there are no common multiples there. There won't be any common multiples for 5 and 11. So, generally you take the LCM as 5 into 11, that is 55. So, what is the HCF of the given fractions? That is equal to 3 by 55. Now, next coming to LCM. How do you find the LCM of the given fractions? It is LCM of the numerators divided by HCF of the denominators. Okay. Now, looking at the LCM of the numerators. What is the LCM of the numerators? LCM of 6, 3 and 15. Okay. Which will be the most common multiple of 6, 3 and 15 and least one? It will be 30, correct? 6 5s are 30, 3 10s are 30, 15 2s are 30. So 30 is going to be the LCM of these three numbers. Now what is the HCF of the denominator? The denominator here is what? 5 and 11. They will not have any common factor other than 1. Okay. So 30 by 1. So what will be the final LCM? LCM will be LCM of the numerator by HCF of the denominator, that is 30 by 1, that is equal to 30. So the answer for this question is 30 and 3 by 55. All of you got the answer correctly? Good. So this is the last question for today's session. The greatest possible length which can be used to measure exactly the length 7 meters, 3 meter 85 centimeter and 12 meter 95 centimeter is dash. So this kind of question I see commonly in the discussion forum as well. How do you solve this question? Again, you have to use the concept of LCM and HCF. what do you have to find out here? See, such questions, what the most important thing is to be able to know whether to find the LCM or the HCF. Here what should you find? Okay, correct. Here we have to find the HCF. So how do you find the HCF of these numbers? See, if you see, all these are given in like different units, correct? 7 meters, then this is 7 meter 85 centimeter and 12 meter 95 centimeter. So let us convert everything into centimeters, okay? So 7 meters is nothing but 700 centimeters. 3 meter 85 centimeters is nothing but 385 centimeters. 12 meter 95 centimeters, 1295 centimeters. So if you consider these three, you have to find the HCF of these three numbers. Now here we will also find the HCF. See, a lot of you told me that a lot of questions we can do it in our mind. Sometimes doing such numbers might be difficult. So in that case, do the long division method. Okay, if you do the long division method, what do you get here? What will go? 5 will go in all of these numbers, right? 140, 77, 259. Now in this actually 7 will go, correct? 77, 140, both of which 7 is going. So 259 also 7 will go. So this will be 20, 11, 37. So here to find the HCF, see, you shouldn't take these. If you are finding the LCM, what will we do? We will multiply all these, no? To find the HCF, you have to just multiply these two. So 7 5s are 35. So that is the HCF of the two numbers. So what will be the answer? The answer is going to be 35 centimeter. Yes, you can also go by options. Everybody got the answer correctly? Good. So with that we come to an end of the questions that has been chosen for today's session. Going by options will work. Definitely that will work. As I said, whichever method is easier for you and which is faster for you, you are the best decision makers for that. So with that we come to an end of the problems that has been chosen for today's session. So I hope the questions that we chose was clear to you and you do not have any doubts in the questions that we discussed today. Okay, so all the very best with your preparations, guys, and I'll see you in my next session. So that's it for now, and this is Gayatri signing off. Okay, yeah, take care.